Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 80th segment of Be Inspired with Buzopat Life-Changing Reality Tonic. Oh, yes. Honorable Ambassador Buzopat.Topic is still your able and amiable host on this platform we call community. Where we embrace our truth that leads to our freedom. When I mentioned 80th segment, wow, honestly, I was like, wow, it can only be God. I know that I don't set my goals by what people deem important actually, but I also know that holding a position, doesn't really make you superior to others, but it's just grace. When grace makes your life amiable, when grace makes a lot of things easy, it looks as if it's easy, but it's sure work. It really sure work. 1, 2, 3, 4 to 80th segment is really something, and I am so proud of myself. I'm proud of all of you that hear me out and all that. And I say, give yourself kudos. It's not easy. May God continue to give us the strength we need and the life that we pray for, so that we'll keep doing the things that we know how to do best. Yes, my dears, today we'll be talking on the topic handling bad neighbors. Yes. Bad neighbors, they're disrespectful, loud, untrustworthy, quarrelsome, nosy, messy, and very unfriendly. Yes. No matter how great an apartment is, no matter how wonderful where you live is, it can be a nightmare if you have to deal with a nasty neighbor. Seriously. And for sure, you find them everywhere. But most times, there are more in the low-cost areas, Some neighbors can actually be, frustrating, honestly. Some neighbors can be, suicide. You can feel like committing suicide if you really have neighbors that are crazy, especially when you have to share toilet and kitchen with such people. Then avoiding daily friction will be impossible. Bad neighbors come in shapes and sizes. Honestly, they come in shapes and sizes, and most times their trouble varies as well and can be very toxic. Most times you can't run away from them. Some of them are deliberately troublesome, intentionally troublesome, calculatively troublesome. They do that on purpose. They are created to frustrate the lives of people around them. So I am not here today to discuss why we have them, but I am going to talk about how you can deal with situation like that if you find yourself in one. So first and foremost, you need to set boundaries from onset. Keep telling people, when you get into a place and you have new neighbors, you have to really don't become too playful with neighbors and become too familiar with neighbors. No, set your boundaries. Okay, set your boundaries. Again, don't tolerate what you don't like from onset. Don't do that. Most people like to die in silence, and then letting things that they don't like slide in the name of being good or trying to impress people that they really do not know. Such situation will make you explode, beyond your imagination the day you can't take it anymore, and that wouldn't be very good for you. So don't let things slide when you can actually deal with them. Okay, because when you do that, what it does is that those people who do that take you for granted, and again it amplifies their nonsense behaviors, honestly. And again, you must be a good example. You see, whenever you have to tell a neighbor not to do a particular thing or to stop an act, you must make sure you don't do something like that. You must make sure that you don't do something like that, because bad neighbors tend to hold on to mistake of others, in order to justify their nasty behaviors. And if you give such chance, then sorry for you, because that your mistake is something that they will hold on to and give you baptism of fire. Okay, again, you don't have to assume. You need to talk first. What do I mean by that? You need to believe that they're actually oblivious of their actions, So you must take steps to highlight the wrongs and then prefer practical suggestions and solutions that will enable all of you live in peace. This is something you need to do. And then when you do this, don't forget that you don't have to be aggressive in it. You are trying to find an lasting, solution to the things that are worrying you people. So you must be, diplomatic about it. Then another thing you need to do if you're in situations like this, you need to talk to a non-offensive neighbor. Like if you people share the same concern, it will justify your, it will give you to give justification to the issues at hand. And again, help you in case you decide to confront the menace, you decide to confront the mischief. It will actually be a kind of ground that is set already, because everybody will need to put their mouth like, yeah, you have spoken to somebody concerning it. Then the next thing you need to do is take action. Let's say if talking doesn't work, then you need to be done with playing nice. You have to call them to order. And calling them to order means you have to really be expressive, but straight to the point. You need to stick to the point. Don't beat about the bush, but you really need to call a spade, okay? Then, if you've done this one, then the next thing you need to do again, if he still continues, to report to the caretaker or the landlord. Most times, the landlord doesn't need your worries, and you don't need to disturb your landlord on what goes on there, but if situation is extreme and it's going out of hand, landlord must step in. If you're a landlord, don't feel that it's not your business when your house, because it's your property. If anything gets out of hand there, it's your property that will be affected. And if they kill somebody there, you are liable as well. It doesn't matter if you live there or not. So you need to know when to step in. That is that. And again, if you've done all this and it still doesn't work, because some people are actually genetically wired to be troublesome, then yes, it's okay you call police and authorities, but I always recommend, if it becomes life-threatening, to move out. Believe me, you see, where you live and where you sleep should be peaceful. That you can walk around, do everything anywhere, and come to your home and sleep. And when where you live becomes toxic, you need to change that environment if you want to live long. Believe me. So, yes, calling authorities could help. Calling police and all that could help. But for me, if it becomes life-threatening, instead of you to be watching your back 24 hours of the day, you move out from that place. That is it. And then, you that we're talking about, who is actually a bad neighbor. Be a good neighbor. That is what you owe yourself. And if you're a bad one, change. There's still time for you to understand that those things are not good. You see, life is too short for love. Why do we really spend time, having a lot of bickering that is so unnecessary and cutting it short? We borrow trouble from the future to make the present so unbearable and miserable. And then what do you think we had to achieve? The day you die, that you're gone. Okay? Always remember that you don't have to be friends with your neighbor to be a good neighbor. That's the mistake people are making. You could be polite, decent, beautifully okay, but you don't need to be friends with them. Okay? Just be a good neighbor and everything will be all right. So if you go through this, if you're in such, please apply all these things. And if it doesn't work, move out from that place. God will give you the money to do so. Yeah. That's my message for you today. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Be Inspired with Buzopat. And follow me on Instagram, Be Inspired with Ambassador Buzo. And join our Facebook family, Be Inspired with Buzopat. And together we'll always do our best to make the society a better place. See you next week when it's there. Bye.